Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Unplugging Your Life or Plugging It In. Can you feel the difference between when you drive into the city or when you drive out into nature? How many of us understand that we are electromagnetic? We talk about grounding a lot. Do you understand why it's important beyond just feeling good? Hi, I'm Miss Chrissy D with the P&K Files, helping you prepare for when life happens. And this is Darlene Turner with Victim to Victory, and together we're the perspective.
Hi, everyone. So, my gosh, I think it's been like 3 months we've been talking about the physical body and lots of bits and pieces around that. And then we went into the chakras, which actually kind of marries this because they're energy centers, as well as that we brought in the physical aspect of them to help you understand the importance of these energy centers that run through the center of our body. So now we're going to talk about the electrical or the energetic part of the body. And this is such a huge subject for me because I'm an energy worker. So, I've been doing so much studying and research this week. So my head is really full. So excuse me if I seem at all here, there, and everywhere, because I have so much to share. And I know that we want to spread it over a period of time so that you can get all this information and really understand it. And when you have this knowledge of it, you'll be able to apply it in your life in a bigger way.
Yeah, I know this is a really important subject to you, and I know you want to get a lot out and make our listeners understand. So why is it so important?
Well, it's so important because it's really how our body functions and runs. And to really have this understanding how much our life has changed from now till like 40 years ago. We didn't have all this technology, all this electricity, all the lights, all the phones, the TVs. There's so much technology and electricity in our life, which very easily can knock our delicate balance in our body off. And we're not even knowing why there's so much anxiety now, or there's so much stress and diseases and all these things, which in my opinion, and please everybody, this is the perspective. And like I said, I've done a lot of study, and it's kind of how I see things. And if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, go with what's true for you, and go with your own research. So I'm just going to explain a little bit more about this. So we're basically a spark that is the electrical charge that keeps everything running in our body. And I'll just share a little quick experience of how important the spark is. A very dear, loving, beautiful friend of ours, we were having dinner with her back in January, and we just finished dinner, and she just turned away, looked at the dog, and she was just gone. She just died in that second. It was just like that spark just went out. And it was my first time ever experiencing how somebody could just be there and not be there, So that's my point, how important this electrical spark is that keeps us going. Now, when you have, we're just kind of like that wall plug. You have the positive and the negative in your wall, but you also have that grounding strip to ground it out. So now I can bring this into the earth as well, so you can kind of understand this. In the middle of the earth, there's metals and iron that turn in the middle, and that creates electrical charge. And when we have this electrical charge, the magnetic field is what holds it all together, and it holds that balance between the north and the south pole, holds our earth actually in place. It holds actually everything together. That's why it's so important. And that's why I want to explain it to you. So Michael has a little picture chart or something that's going to show us this magnetic field around the body, and then hopefully help give you a visual of what it actually looks like in our own body. Can you show that for us, Michael? So you can see here how the electric and magnetic field, they're the same as you will maybe a coin. They're just on the opposite sides of the coin. So you can see the importance, how the electrical charge creates that current, but the magnetic field holds it in place. So this is actually our energy field surrounding our body. And when we have too much electricity, then it can create shorts or malfunctions within our body, too much charge. It may blow out certain circuits in our body. And that's just why it's so important to me. Thanks, honey. So another way that you can kind of understand this is when you live near, say, those power transmitter places, there's accelerated growth of cancer around those places. So there's the atmosphere, the environment is so electric that it's actually affecting our own fields. Another way is thunderstorms and lightning storms. That's a way people can really relate. You can feel that tension in the air, that, that static almost, that it's like, until the actually storm hits and there's a release, and then the rain comes and it's like a release or just diffuse of that electrical charge. Is this making any sense, Christy? How am I doing?
Yes, it is. So it's important, and it's what runs everything, but it can also be a real detriment if we have too much of it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. And this is why we brought in about grounding, because actually, like we have a thunderstorm or lightning storm, your house on the outside of the house has a grounding rod to diffuse that energy. If you were struck by lightning, the house, then it would diffuse it and ground it out. So this is why we are always telling everybody to ground, because it's going to help diffuse that electrical charge that surrounds us all the time. Or there's even a charge in our emotions. There's a charge in, there's so much that is electrical around us that we have no idea. So that's
it just reminds me of, when we go camping, we all get really excited to go camping. And we spend all this time packing up, getting everything organized, leaving our nice, comfortable, all set up home. And we drive way out into nature, and we spend all this time getting organized. And it's instantly grounding. We don't realize, even though we're comfortable and we think, why are we doing all this work to leave all this to go out there and to sit in the dirt around the trees? But it really is grounding. It's worth all of that work and the 2 weeks it takes to clean up when you get home.
Definitely. Camping's big on my list. But I think it's, from my opinion anyways, I think it's more than just grounding. I think it's slowing down. There's another way I've come to understand this, where as we're driving or as we're busy, it creates actually more of a south pole. Like if you think of a magnet, on the south pole, it speeds things up, and on the north pole, it slows things down. So when you're driving in your vehicle, even, or busy in life, you're actually getting more south pole energy. So everything speeds up, even your inflammation, your cell growth, and everything. And when we go into the country, it's more that north pole energy where everything slows down, and we become more relaxed. And then the body can actually relax and heal itself and lower the inflammation and all of those things. Another little point here I want to make, because we're talking about vehicles, you have that little strip that goes down and grounds you when your car is running. So that's another thing that is really important to have on your vehicle, so that, as you're driving in that, I know for me, when I'm driving, I feel like there's something tickling my head up here, so I can feel the electricity of things. Or if I'm driving too long, then I'm all floaty, and the road is just, I have to stop and get out and get grounded, because we're creating so much of that friction of that electricity, or that, I would say, south pole energy. So and then when you were saying, Chrissy, you go into the country, you feel better. How do you feel when you start heading back to the city?
Yeah it's like disappointing. You get all anxious again, and
yeah, I actually feel everything speeding up. I could feel the traffic speeding up. I could feel the energy just speeding up when we're going into the city. Michael speeds up. And so yeah, it's quite a shift for me when I start coming into the city, and then an adjustment to that. If you live in the city all the time, it's probably almost your norm. You kind of hit that edge of that city, and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta, this to do, and I gotta get back to work, and you just kick right back into gear. But I live
Yeah.
in the country, so when I go into the city, it's a huge adjustment for me to get used to that feel of that energy of momentum. It's just go go.
Yes.
So I want to bring it back again to the body here. Our brain is actually very electric. So there's neurons throughout all our brain. There's a billion of them or whatever. So if we put them all together, we could actually light a light bulb, which is probably where they came up with the idea of lighting the light bulb. But our heart is more of that electromagnetic. So I feel that our heart is the engine. It's like that, the battery, the power center, which, as I talked about my friend dying, I think she had just a massive heart attack, and that spark went out of her heart, and just bam, everything stopped. There was no movement of anything like that she was there. So anyways, bringing it back to the heart, which is what we always say to everybody, to get into your heart and to connect to your heart, because you know why? That's that where the magnetic field that Michael was showing comes from. And when we have that magnetic field, that connects to the magnetic field of the earth and to everything else. So we're actually, when I talk about that field, this is the field that I'm talking about. And we want to have a solid surrounding around us around that. And I don't know how our time is, but um, I just want to bring in, because this is the entry, the beginning of the topic around meridians and our energy lines, and how our organ or a system actually connects to a muscle and then connects to an emotion. And so through our medical system, they don't really acknowledge this part of our body, meridians and things. And so we'll address maybe organ issue and then go see another doctor for a muscle issue. And then not even much ever gets addressed around emotional issues. So I'm excited to share more about this with you as we go on, because like I said, it's a big subject. So let's go into tips.
Okay. Tip one, go into nature and get grounded. We talk about this a lot, and can't state how important it is. And just remember about, you don't have to spend weeks getting ready to go camping, because sometimes that's a lot of work, as we talked about. But it is so valuable to go out into nature, plant your feet into the ground, and get grounded.
Mm-hmm. And there's a couple other tools which I'll just kind of maybe slide into two because it fits with one a bit. There actually is grounding sheets now that have a copper wire through the sheets that you can get to put on your bed, and it plugs into the grounding of your socket in your wall, not the one that holds electricity, but the one below, the one little plug that grounds electricity. And it helps ground you when you sleep at night, and people are experiencing better sleeps, they're experiencing less headaches, and just an overall body health. So that's another way to ground. But speaking of that copper wire, there's copper bracelets, there's other tools, there's stones that help you ground. There's several things to think about that part of things. Excuse me, my voice is going. And tip 3 is electrolytes. Electrolytes help carry this energy through your body. Not just water, but electrolytes. That, and everybody knows when you're sick with the flu or anything, you lose your electrolytes, and then your health diminishes really quick. So
Yeah.
make sure you're getting electrolytes. My favorite is actually coconut water. It's easy, it's healthy, it gives you potassium as well. So yeah, make sure you're including electrolytes, especially if you're a heavy workout person that has burning a lot of sweat.
And it helps regulate your nerves and your muscle function, and balances like your acid and water and everything in your body. So it's really important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the tips. Thanks, folks.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Come and join us every Sunday for the new perspective on trauma, abuse, chronic pain, and the steps to a healthy and thriving life. And we will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.